What we would like to do is to, again, in opening up this as this first session today, is to really ask the question, a very simple question: why? Why are we doing this? Well, the reason why we're doing this, it's because there is that one aspect that we always seem to hear, that we are not productive enough. We hear it from some of the employers. We hear it from the very highest level, where governments, even our own prime minister, have gone out and seem to think that we are not as productive. And the stats say that as well. I go to these various seminars and conferences, and that's what I hear, that Canada is lacking in productivity in certain sectors. And so if we question ourselves, are we productive enough? We do great things, but are we really productive in terms of where we're at? And if we continue doing the things in the same way over the years, we suddenly find out, right, that all of the headaches, and some of you who are in the capacity of project managers and site supers know that very well. Every day seems to be a battle on the site. And we seem to, again, get mixed signals. And these mixed signals really comes into this particular slide that says, well, what really goes wrong? And I think as you go through this slide, you would see that there are a number of things that could go wrong with the building. We look critically at the manpower, certainly, lack of skill. Could also be, again, the lack of motivation and care for what they do. But when it comes down to knowledge base, you can see very well, right, that we could control certain things. Knowledge, for sure. We can impart knowledge, we could control that. Can we look at planning? Absolutely. But the most important thing, as you go down away from the construction and look at the design phase of our construction projects, you can see that a lot of it is based on unclear, uncoordinated, missing information. And that's where I think that we are able to, again, look critically at how that works. And can we look at the process of ensuring that we could do this? Well, I'm sure that over the years, and this is not something that is today, we hear it quite often, that when we get a set of drawings to bid on, for example, it's not and would never be 100% complete, because it's, again, quite a lack of coordinated information. And we know that there are certain inherent barriers that sometimes prevent us from working collaboratively and still having to maintain the silos that we work in. As architects and engineers go about producing design information. So let's look at the background of how other countries have, again, when I say other countries, in Europe, they've really, again, tried different ways of doing things. But the basis of this structured way of looking at coordinated construction information really comes out from, again, various studies. And as I said, we've really using the UK example as a prime example, because like anything else, research and construction in Canada is very limited. We don't spend enough time to research our own industry. And even then, that research sometimes it depends on where it comes from, who does it. But this kind of research, you would see that it is, in terms of a background, where you do have a prominent UK, in Barnwell, for example, in 1966, the BRE is, again, the research establishment, very much involved with research. We got, again, codes in terms of being able to look at construction performance. Egan, for example, in 1998 looked at the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors, now pretty much a global organization, and said that consultants in the industry should bring value. And that was the emphasis. How do consultants bring value to their clients? And again, if you are looking at that kind of value, then in the same way that we've got standards for materials, and we've got standards for various testing, what we need to get is the standard for being able to coordinate construction information. So that comes to the next question of what. And what is, again, what are we doing all about? What are we doing about, again, the same persistent